Welcome. Welcome to Carnegie Mellon's Energy Week. I am Jared Cohen, the director of the Scott Institute, your organizer and host for this week and for this lunch. We're very pleased and excited to have you all here for this important event the entire week, but in particular this lunch. We're going to start with a special announcement that we're very pleased to make, and to do that on behalf of his university and ours and others, I'd like to introduce to you Tom Esselman. Tom, you'll start making your way up here. It takes a while. Tom received a master's in business administration from University of Pittsburgh and a PhD from Case Western, so he's both a Pittsburgh and Cleveland guy. He worked for 15 years for Westinghouse Nuclear, so more Pittsburgh. And after that, he's been a long-time successful energy consultant for a variety of companies on power generation and distribution especially. He's a member of the Board of Overseers of Case Western Reserve University and just stepped down as the chair of the advisory board for the Great Lakes Energy Institute at Case Western. And he has been a champion and a great partner to work with in creating what he's about to announce to you. Tom Esselman. Tom.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today to speak to you briefly, and I promise I will be brief. Most of us are here today because we recognize the opportunity that energy provides to the region. With the challenges with energy comes opportunity also. Many of those challenges and opportunities have been the topics of the sessions that we've been at this week. Within the next 10 years, it's clear that the energy landscape is going to be different than it is today. And it's the creation of those differences that we want to focus on today, because we want to be a part of that. Affordable, safe, reliable energy is really going to create the opportunity for economic growth and for mitigation of environmental impact. To find solutions to these energy challenges, Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Carnegie Mellon University, the University of Pittsburgh, and West Virginia University are each actively involved in energy research and development. They've each recognized the need to move forward in the area of energy and have responded by forming their own institutes on energy. The directors of the energy institutes from these four universities are here today, and I would like to introduce them to you. Alexis Abramson is the director of the Great Lakes Energy Institute at Case Western Reserve University. Greg Reed is the director of the Center for Energy at the University of Pittsburgh. Brian Anderson is the director of the Energy Institute at West Virginia University, and Jerry is the director of the Scott Institute for Energy Innovation at Carnegie Mellon. It's clear that these four universities have specific technical and policy strengths that are world-class. We take advantage of them all the time. We've looked at the world-class strengths of these universities, of all four of these universities, and there's some overlap, but frankly not that much overlap. There really are complementary strengths. What's clear is that when you put the energy capabilities together from these four universities, when they're considered together and collaboratively, that they provide an extremely strong foundation for problem solving. To respond to this opportunity for the strengths to be considered together and collaboratively, Case, Carnegie Mellon, Pitt, and West Virginia have agreed to work together and have formed the Tri-State University Energy Alliance. I am pleased to announce the formation of that alliance today. Each university will continue to operate its own energy institute, but the alliance will form a relationship between the universities that will provide a platform for cooperation and collaboration. This will allow us to put teams of unusual strength together that are truly strong that can be assembled to move the universities and the region ahead rapidly in terms of attracting money, creating technical solutions to difficult problems, training students that are likely to stay in the region and work for our companies, and creating opportunities for commercial spin-offs from entrepreneurial activities from technology that's developed. We all recognize, and it's clear, what effect a strong university program can have on a regional economy. The 4 universities and energy institutes have agreed to work together to target opportunities where collaboration has the greatest potential benefit. We'll work with industry, national labs, government agencies to identify priorities and define ways that the 4 universities together can provide an offering that is much stronger than any of the individual universities can offer alone. Each University Energy Institute has been effective up to now and has made a difference, but what we're looking to do with the Alliance is to accelerate that growth and that offering that each of the universities can provide together. The nation and the energy have real energy challenges. What we know is that with those energy challenges comes opportunities, and we want to take advantage of the opportunities. We need to recognize the challenges and then use the opportunities as a platform for growth. We want to be partners with regional institutions and with regional governments so that we're outstanding at what we do. We invite the tri-state region to recognize the capabilities in the top-tier universities that we're surrounded by, and to join me in welcoming the formation of this alliance. The alliance has the potential to greatly accelerate the impact of collaboration on energy in this tri-state region. We look forward to working with you and serving you also. So I appreciate it, and I think that this is a great day for these 4 universities. We look forward to what's going to happen together. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Tom, for your leadership and for your partnership. We're very pleased that the mayor could be with us today, and I'm very pleased to be able to introduce to you Subra Suresh, the president of Carnegie Mellon University. Thank you, Subra, for making Energy Week now 2 days in a row, 3 days to go. Subra Suresh.
So, thank you, Jerry. I want to thank you and all the colleagues in the Scott Institute for Energy Innovation for organizing these wonderful set of activities this week. Energy is one of those topics where technology alone is not the solution. Human aspirations alone are not the solution. Needs are not just the driving force. It's one of those topical areas where we have technology coupled with policies, practices, the roles that governments play, policymakers play, and citizens of the world, individual citizens of the world play from different angles, from different perspectives. It makes a huge difference. One can use energy, one can abuse energy intentionally, unintentionally, depending on where they come from. And that's one of the reasons I think it's very important that we engage policymakers, leaders into the discussion. And rightly so, I'm really delighted that the Scott Institute for Energy Innovation has that focus, given the intellectual strength at Carnegie Mellon University in the area of not just energy, but also policy. In that regard, I'm really thrilled that our next speaker, Mayor Bill Peduto, is here to talk to us today. This morning, you heard from the Premier of South Australia, who talked about, from a very different vantage point, the issues related to energy. Bill needs no introduction to this audience. I've been very fortunate for almost for the last 3 years to get to know him, especially in the last 2 years since he formally took office, to get to know him as a local leader but also a partner with Carnegie Mellon University in so many things that we are engaged in. Just prior to coming to Carnegie Mellon University, I had the opportunity to interact with a large number of elected officials from the regional and national levels. And I have to say, it's enormously refreshing and satisfying to have a partner like Bill Peduto to work with for Carnegie Mellon University. Just a couple of days ago, he participated along with several colleagues from Carnegie Mellon in the announcement that was made at Austin, where 7 cities were selected as technology hubs, where we are fortunate to note that Pittsburgh is one of them. We very much hope that we will be the finalists before too long, and I want to thank Bill for his leadership. Metro 21, prior to that Traffic 21, Metro Lab Network, a variety of other projects, including the Innovation Corridor that connects Carnegie Mellon through Forbes Avenue to other parts of the city. In all of these activities, Bill has been a major collaborator and partner. So it's with great pleasure I introduce our mayor, Bill Peduto. Bill.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh, and it's mutual. It's, I deal a lot of different things as being the mayor. It's like having a remote control with like 50 different stations on it, maybe 500 different stations, and it's constantly changing. That's what a basic day is like. But the opportunities that I get when I have the time and the staff invites me to the meetings, I'm talking about my staff, it's the times when I get refreshed, when I realize why I wanted to have this job, when I get to dream of what this city can be, and then I get to see the talent that's here that can make it actually happen. Energy is at a critical point for cities. I had the opportunity to be in Paris in December when the largest gathering of mayors in the world's history convened. 500 mayors, every continent, all with one mission, to be able to say the water's warm, jump in, pun intended, by the way, too, on climate change. At COP21, there was an understanding. It went beyond that cities believe that climate change is real. It was that we will compete against each other to be able to do the most, to be able to bring together the technology, and we will create the industries in our own cities to be the leader. And it didn't matter whether I was sitting next to the mayor from Dusseldorf or the mayor of Boulder, Colorado, the message was the same. And that's what we tried to explain to our federal leaders. You can sign that treaty. You can make sure that we're hitting certain goals by certain time periods. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the cities to implement it, and we're already going to do it. And we want to be the leaders and not those left behind. And it's great, in a sense, of being a Pittsburgh kid, born, raised, lived, die, that Pittsburgh was at the table. Not me, Pittsburgh. A city that's so steeped in the former ways of providing energy is now a leader in ways to look at the 21st century. So that's the challenge, because as Dr. Suresh said, on this past weekend, Pittsburgh, along with Austin and San Francisco and Portland and all the rest of the boom towns, was selected as a finalist for the Smart Cities Challenge. And one of the reasons that we were selected was we didn't just put together a transportation plan. Yes, we put a transportation plan that would reduce carbon emissions by 50% by 2030, but we overlaid it with an energy plan, with technology through sensor detection, and we're the only city that put it all together in an open platform, meaning that as Pittsburgh changes the world will have the opportunity to learn from Pittsburgh and change as well. And our energy plan looks at the infrastructure we already have in place. Dr. Suresh talked about Metro Lab. We created it. the first of its kind MOU between a city and a university with Pittsburgh and Carnegie Mellon University back in 2014, signing an agreement, meaning I now have a research and development arm of city government. And Carnegie Mellon has an urban lab. So whenever I want to look at new technology for traffic signalization, I don't have to put out an RFP and go with the lowest bid and some junk that's just off the shelf. I can work hand in hand with this university, create something quality, and be able to give my residents something that can not only benefit them, but benefit this economy by exporting it to other places. In the same way, we're working with the University of Pittsburgh in the opportunity to look at district energy, the ability to produce energy right in the same areas that we're seeing these massive developments take off. So we have a downtown that has an antiquated steam heating system that basically we're in the threat of losing the entire asset. No one's invested in it for years. But we have the opportunity to combine it with cogeneration and not only provide heat but electricity, and combine it with the development that's happening right up the street, where 28 acres is being developed around a hockey arena, and the infrastructure already going in for cogeneration district energy that could then benefit the people living in the Hill District, a low-income part of the city of Pittsburgh. And you want to create new options for affordable housing? How about affordable heat? How about affordable electric? How about affordable utility bills so that it can benefit the people that need it the most? And then connecting down over the hill here, down to Hazelwood, 178 acres, prime real estate along a river, foundation communities working to not only create a model of a mixed use of affordable housing with light industrial, with research and development, but a transportation plan that we've put together that will connect it directly to CMU's campus. And being able to use electric vehicles or autonomous vehicles to be able to take you back and forth. But here's the kicker. The entire site, the goal is to provide 100% renewable energy. A new urban lab of testing how we're going to be able to do that. One of the ways we'll be able to do it is simply by creating better buildings, by producing buildings that will be net zero, or better yet, net plus, being able to produce more electricity and power than they use, and creating it in a way that is in a small footprint, 600 to 800 square feet housing units that are affordable to working class people. And you want to see where that exists? Look across the street at the houses that the mill workers used to work in, and we'll continue that legacy into a 21st century. And those are only the parts along the Monongahela River where we want to connect it all the way back down to the parking garage on 2nd Avenue and an entire solar plant to be part of an electric fleet for the city of Pittsburgh, but also an electric corridor between Hazelwood and downtown. We want to be able to see a district energy plan go across the river where it's already existing right now, where NRG has been able to update its steam plant into a cogen for the north side, and where the University of Pittsburgh has teamed up with Duquesne Light to create a 100% renewable district energy plan in Woods Run. And that's the goal for this city. I could spend the next few years as the mayor of Pittsburgh pounding my fist like a good environmentalist that I am about how we have to break away from fossil fuels. And it will be heard and people will think about it and other thoughts will be had. Or I can work to create opportunity for new ways of delivering energy, for new lesser means of housing and buildings to need energy, and for the transition of energy to a renewable state within the next few years. And at the same time, be able to have that new renewable energy being developed simultaneously. If I choose the first, I'll get a lot of support from the people who support me, and that's what politicians like. If I do the latter, I will help to change Pittsburgh into a city that will be a leader in energy, in sustainability, and in recognizing that technology has a way to improve the lives of people, all people, for the future. I think I'm going to choose the latter. Thanks, guys. I was going to stick around if you had a few questions as well. Any questions? Jerry, Dr. Cohen. Had the great opportunity of working with this man too, and I just got to say that there's few people that I've had the honor of working with that are creative brilliance and practical at the same time. And in the transformation of this city over the past 30 years, from a town that was basically dying to the one that now competes against Austin and San Francisco, the name Jerry Cohen will be written in books of history of how we got there.
Thanks for answering my question. Do you know when DOE's going to...
Yeah. So the game plan with this, so I don't know if you guys know much about it. The Smart City Challenge was put out by, DOE or DOT? Yeah. It was put out by the Department of Transportation. $40 million from the Department of Transportation, $10 million from Vulcan, $1 million from Amazon, and probably about another $10 million scattered throughout in-kind services from corporations around the country. They gave us a couple months to put together our proposal. We were the one of the 7 selected. We have 10 weeks now to go back. They gave us $100,000 to spend to be able to go back and to refine it. And then after that, there will be about 1 month. So somewhere between 4th of July, beginning of August, we should know who the winner is. It would help immensely in getting a lot of things moved very quickly. But I'll be real blunt with you. If we fail, it's still the plan. And I'm just going to have to find more doors to knock on. We're going with this. This is where the future of Pittsburgh needs to happen. And if we do succeed, I'm going to use it as seed money. And I'm going to be knocking on a lot of doors and telling people, hey, you want to work on the Green Boulevard plan from Highland Park all the way down to the Strip District, where we have an electric vehicle that's able to take you next to a bikeway, next to a combined sewer overflow system, then I'm going to need your help in raising a couple dollars to get us there, because I got all this federal money now to help us.
If there's one thing that you could tell individual Pittsburghers to do, that energy will be tough.
So off the top of my head, turn off the damn water when you're brushing your teeth. Do you know how much it costs us to purify that water? It's the biggest energy source we have is the city of Pittsburgh, is water purification. And somebody will just turn that thing on, look around, do stuff, and that poor little water had to go through so much to become purified for you to drink. And then you just let them go right down the sink. So that would be one. The other would be, as my Uncle Marino used to say to me whenever I'd do it, what, do you have stock in Duquesne Light? Before you open the refrigerator door, think. We need to do more as a government when it comes to waste. So I would urge people to recycle. We actually do it, but we make it as difficult as possible for people to do it. That's going to be something we're going to be looking at all the way from how much needs to be wasted to the point of why aren't we producing energy from this waste and simply allowing it to go to a landfill all the way out by the airport. And imagine the amount of waste that happens driving a full garbage truck out the parkway every day and then returning it every day. We could have a transfer station and be able to create energy from it. But to the individual, I guess those are just my little issues. Take one more, and then I'm going to have to run back downtown in the big SUV because my Impala's in the shop. Oh, yep.
There's talk about the city investing in natural gas buses for the express busway. Can you provide an update on where that project is moving?
I know the county executive has put together a very strong commitment. The difficulty is in not only the purchase of the vehicles, but the stations to provide the gas as well. So I don't know right now where it stands with the county. There was an electric bus company that came in about a week ago that was prototyping their model and taking it along the busway as well. You know, with everything that's happening right now, especially along the autonomous vehicle route, you know, CMU's driving cars, autonomous vehicle cars in Oakland right now. Uber has a prototype out, and we're building a test track for them, which is more like a simulated city down in Hazelwood. And I think in the next few years, you're going to see more options of that, and potentially public transit, autonomous public transit options as well. But the biggest way that we'll be able to reduce the amount of energy needs for transportation will be in data analytics and sensors that will be placed throughout the city and as part of our application for smart cities. We'll be able, and as you know, every car that you drive in right now has a sensor in it, and that sensor is able to talk to the car in front of you and talk to the car behind you, and soon you'll be able to caravan, and then soon that will also be able to talk to the signals, and the signals will change and your caravan will be able to go through, and we're moving to that direction very, very quickly. So I think that when we're creating more effective and efficient energy for transportation, it's going to be through the technology that already exists being implemented throughout cities, and I want to be one of the first cities to do it. I know I'm preaching to the clergy when I'm talking energy to this room. At Bill Peduto on Twitter, bill.peduto@pittsburghpa.gov, just like every other employee, the email. Those are probably the two best ways to reach me. Third would be a text message, but I'm not giving you my phone number. Fourth would be climbing in my window at home. And fifth would be sending me a message on LinkedIn. So don't send me a message on LinkedIn. You won't get a response. So there's a world of new ideas out there. Share them with us. Just as we went into that memorandum of understanding with Carnegie Mellon, and actually one with the Department of Energy, which will allow us to do the things that I'm talking about. We want to go into memorandum of understanding with smart people. So let us know what we can be doing, and I'm sure, and I promise you, you'll get a response. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mayor, very much. So great to have a political leader that you can be proud of. Those longtime Pittsburghers know what I mean. He has been a wonderful partner for this university, for University of Pittsburgh as well, and I think an excellent leader for the cities you got a taste for. So we're going to reconvene at 1:15, so you've got time to get another dessert or another sandwich. Enjoy yourselves. Two important requests. One is please attend the sessions this afternoon. We've got two outstanding panel discussions on policy issues, one focused on state and local issues and one on national issues. And you'll be kicking yourself if you don't take the time to come and listen to these. The other is I want to remind you that tomorrow's lunch, we will have the Deputy Secretary of USDOE speaking to us. She's outstanding, a great speaker and a great leader, and you'll want to be here for that. So please come back for that, but also come for everything, including, Debbie, we've got the film competition today at 5, right? And the Deliberative Democracy event after a reception this evening, starting the event starts at 6:30, right?
Yes, it's 6 o'clock reception,
6 o'clock reception, 6:30 Deliberative Democracy event. And the Deliberative Democracy event will feature some of our leading faculty. I see Ed Rubin in the audience. He'll be part of that. And it's a chance for us to talk about, us as citizens of Pennsylvania, to talk about what we think our fuel mix should be for our power generation. A very important topic and one that you get to weigh in on. If you've not participated in deliberative democracy, something that's been advanced and refined here by faculty at Carnegie Mellon, it's something you want to do. You'll enjoy it very much. So, thanks for being here for this. We'll see you this afternoon and this evening and tomorrow and Thursday and Friday. Thanks very much. We'll adjourn. Enjoy.